The Disc Golf Pro Tour is headed to the Pacific Northwest this weekend for the Portland Open, and I am super excited. I am an Oregon disc golfer, and so it's nice to see the pros coming out to my neck of the woods this week. They are playing at Blue Lake and over at Glendoveer. These are the last two courses that the Portland Open has been to, and this year they are playing both of them. Quick break here. I am currently editing this video and realized that my dog snored through the entire thing. I apologize. He's a stubborn old dog and loves to sleep on the ottoman. So you will get a little bit of dog snores throughout this entire video. I apologize. Not much I can do, but enjoy. So this is the time of year we're about halfway through the Disc Golf Pro Tour, and you're probably running out of some of those big name guys to choose from. So we will be diving down the list a little bit further this week to give you a lot of different options. We're to the point where you're gonna have to stretch and maybe play guys that you're not as confident in just because you've used up some of those bigger names. So starting off, I wanna throw out two local guys who have performed fairly well on tour. So first up, we have James Proctor, who is from Washington, and he actually has averaged a top 10 finish from the last two events here in Portland. Now, this year, he hasn't had a lot of great finishes on tour, but he normally doesn't travel as well as some of the other pros, doing better up here in the Pacific Northwest. So that doesn't necessarily scare me as much. The other local guy is Cole Redolin. He is actually from Oregon, and he only really started a tour last year, finished 27th at Glendoveer, and which is honestly a great finish. He's had some ups and downs this year, but he is an Oregon native and probably has played Blue Lake a lot more than a lot of the touring guys, even though he hasn't played it in a pro event yet. So he is another local guy that's going to be farther down the list. I don't trust to play either of these guys at any other event on tour. So this would be the one that I feel comfortable playing them at. So if you're willing to take that risk on a local guy that's probably going to know these courses a little bit better than the rest of the pros, I would go with Proctor or Cole Redolin. Both of them are going to be solid options. Next up on this list, this is a guy that I haven't talked about this year with Survivor picks, and it's about time. Brody Smith has been making improvements all year long, and he finally cracked the top 15 for the first time at DDO a few weeks ago. Since then, he's at a top 25 finish, top 36 finish, but he is proving that he can pop off if things go right for him. Last year at Glendoveer, he tied for 13th, and that course really fits his type of game. Now, this year, he is going to have to mix in Blue Lake with that, but I think he has the opportunity. He's definitely a risky pick, but he definitely has the opportunity to be a top 15 guy this year. If I was him, my game plan would be to play safe at Blue Lake, maintain your scores, and attack at Glendoveer. That's just how I feel the courses will play for him. And if he does that well, I think that he has the opportunity to finish as a top 15 player this week. I'm not going to be super confident to play him at most events until he proves that he can jump up into the top 15 regularly. But this is one of those events I think if these courses really fit Brody's game, and so I'm willing to take the shot here. Now, the guy that I think is the safest pick was actually my lock last week, and so I don't have the opportunity to play him this week at the Portland Open, is Simon LaZotte. Now, coming after off the win at OTB, this probably seems pretty obvious, but he's performed extremely well, finishing top 7 in both events. He plays extremely well on these courses, and with how he's been throwing the disc off the tee, I don't see him having any issues competing at these events. So Simon LaZotte, you may have used him last week if you followed me and used him last week at OTB. If not, go ahead, light up Simon LaZotte this week for your Survivor pick. Simon LaZotte may actually be the safest pick behind maybe Paul McBeth. So if I had him, he's the guy that I would be choosing this week, but unfortunately I used LaZotte last week at OTB, which I mean, honestly worked out great. So I've understood, like, I gave you 3 risky options with the 2 local guys and Brody Smith, and then Simon LaZotte. I do want to throw in a couple of more names here who I think could be solid options for you. They've finished well at the 2019 and 2020 1 events. We've got Kevin Jones, who finished top 10 in both events. Then Adam Hammis, Andrew Presnell, and Joel Freeman. All 3 of these guys finished top 20 in both events, giving me some confidence that they will be able to perform well at both of these courses this year. So those are a few names that you could look into as well. I'm not going to do a deep dive into them, each of them, but I did want to mention them before getting into my final pick, which is a guy that honestly I've been down on for quite some time, but Anthony Brella is having a great year and proving me wrong, honestly. He was one of the guys that I was not impressed with last year. He had a very high bogey percentage last year, and I just thought he was a big boom bust guy, but he has really shown how like a consistent game this year with 5 finishes inside the top 25 this year. Now, unfortunately, he did not show up last year to play the Glendoveer course, but we all know AB has a huge arm, so I don't think it's a stretch to say that the course should play well for him. He did play Blue Lake back in 2019 and finished 27th. That was 3 years ago. He's still very young, and he was able to put up a great performance there. So I think he's going to be able to finish in the top 15 this week. He still has quite a high OB rate, which is not something I like to see, but this year he is top 20 in C1 in regulation, C2 in regulation, and birdie percentage. So with that, he is attacking those greens and he's getting there a lot more than others. So even with the high OB rate, he is converting a lot of birdies, which I think you need that here at the Portland Open. So my pick this week, Anthony Brella. I am taking a leap of faith in his improvement this year and just kind of riding the hot hand. Like I said, he's had 5 top 25 finishes, and his last 2 events, he's finished top 10. So he's throwing the disc great right now, and I think he should be able to come in and have a solid event here at the Portland Open. So there you have it. I threw a lot of names at you today. If you have any other questions, comment down below and I will get back. I will answer anything that you have. You can also hit me up on Twitter or my Instagram. I will put links to those in the description below. I'm excited. I might try to go out to the event one of the days. Unfortunately, I'm quite busy, but I'm super excited to watch coverage of these courses and the pros out here in the Pacific Northwest. And until next time, good luck, and I'll see you out on the course.